Hi, I'm going to give a quick presentation of Final Approach ATC, which is a game which you can download either for an Android or an iPad tablet at the respective Play stores. A selection screen allows you to choose an area. I've just chosen the default fictional area here, and also the type of control that you want to perform. And it works progressively through different developments in technology. To begin with, I'm just selected the radar vectoring environment, which is the standard way that air traffic control is normally done today. I've paused the game so we can have a quick look around the screen. To the left of the display is the arrival management window. This is a timeline with the arrival flights on it. They're shown with a label and a little slightly green box. The line at the top of the box shows you where you need to gain a little bit of extra space between successive arriving flights. So you do this with path stretching or speed or to put the aircraft in a hold. When you see a little yellow box, that's a departure flight, so you have to be careful to sequence the arrivals to give the departure enough time to clear the runway. Now on the right is the radar window. The main airport in this scenario is in the middle, and there are two satellite airports where there will be fewer aircraft. So we have one aircraft that's taken off, and it's heading out of the approach area. The others are all arriving, and in this scenario they're directed to a holding point, and if you do nothing they'll just enter a hold at that point. So we can give this a heading instruction so that it avoids holding, and we can clear it to descend further down to 3,000 feet.
Iberian 3309
Maintain present heading. Descend to flight level 030.
Iberia 3309er.
Now I've decided I'm going to let the Transavia come in as number 2, and I can keep the arrival manager updated by swapping them over on this display, just by dragging one in front of the other. And I'll also give a heading instruction and clear the Transavia to descend as well.
Transavia 355. Turn left heading 180. Descend to flight level 030.
Transavia 355.
And I'll move the Iberia
Iberian
on a bit of a shorter path
3309
too.
Turn right heading 175.
Iberia 3309er.
Now the Gulf Air, which has taken off and is heading out of the approach area, has passed flight level 180, so I can now transfer it to the centre,
Viking
and they'll be able to continue its approach.
Gulf Air 003. Contact centre.
Gulf Air 003.
Now, to get an aircraft to land, at least in this game, the aircraft has to intercept the runway extended centre line at least 10 miles from the runway. So the Transavia we can give a heading to so that it intercepts the extended centre line at a shallower angle, and we can say to start the approach.
Transavia 355. Turn right heading 225. Cleared for ILS approach to runway 26.
Okay, I've now selected the point merge scenario. So this is the same airspace as before, but now you see instead of the holding stacks, there are two point merge patterns, one at the north and one at the south. And the aircraft are cleared to fly a curved approach, which takes them on quite a long path. Now the point merge systems are symmetrical north and south. So when we have the required spacing from the Adria, which was the last one to start its descent, we can turn the next one, which is the Ryanair, and we do this by giving the direct clearance to the merging point, and we can also allow it to start its descent.
Ryanair 973, proceed direct to Goose, descend to reach flight level 030 by
Avocet,
cross Goose at or above flight level 040.
Ryanair 973.
And as before, as the aircraft get close to the extended centre line, we can give them their final approach clearance.
KLM 16902, cleared for ILS approach to runway 26.
KLM 1692.
I've now selected the trombone scenario with the same airspace. So this time you see that the approaching aircraft have got quite a long approach on what's called trombones. There are two sets of trombones, the outer trombones and the inner trombones, and you can use these to achieve the required level of spacing. Now we can see from the arrival management window that we need to get more spacing between the Austrian 452 on the northern trombone and Iberian 3309 on the southern trombone. So we can do this by assigning a longer initial trombone leg to the Iberian. So we can do this just by selecting the second trombone, which is slightly longer.
Iberian 3309
And
up,
seeing what
via
that does to the
waypoint Lima
spacing.
Tango
802
and Lima Tango
402
and via Lima Tango
201
and Lima Tango
101.
Iberia 3309er.
So I'm now running the sequencing and merging scenario. So this is using the same airspace as the point merge. This time, however, I can rely on the aircraft's ability to self-separate. And this can be done in various stages of the approach and in various different ways. Now, the first stage is to set up a pairing between the two aircraft. So that is to say, to get the aircraft which has to follow the merging instruction to be able to select and observe the other aircraft.
Iberian 4050, for spacing, select target, Scandinavian 577.
Iberia 4050.
Now, once the target has been selected, you can then give it the merging instruction. Now, in this case, they're heading towards a common merge point, so I can ask it just to merge 5 miles behind, or a bigger spacing if I have to fit one into the gap.
Iberian 4050, for spacing, merge out,
Heron,
then remain 5 nautical miles behind target.
Iberia 4050.
Now, the other way I can use sequencing and merging is before giving the turn instruction. So we can see we have flights, the Speedbird and the Air France, ready to turn from the northern point merge. The spacing from the Scandinavian is more or less there, so I'll turn the initial aircraft and give it the descent instruction.
Speedbird 941, proceed direct to Goose, descend to reach
And as
flight level
before, I'll
030
set up a
by
Avocet,
pairing
Goose
between
at or
the
above
two
flight level
aircraft
040.
Speedbird
so that I can give the
941.
Air
sequencing
France
and merging
256
instruction to
November,
the Air
for
France.
spacing, select target, Speedbird 941.
Air France 256 November.
And in this case, I'm going to give a turn and merge instruction. That
Adria
means
167.
the aircraft
Adria
will turn
1627,
once the
standby,
required
Air France
spacing has been
256 November.
achieved.
For spacing, follow routes, then merge up, Goose, then remain 5 nautical miles behind target.
Air France 256 November.
And there you can see the required spacing has been achieved between the Speedbird and the Air France, so the Air France has started its turn. So that's all. I hope it's enough to get you started on the game and to find out more about it.